Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my foundation routine for very glowy, bronzy, dewy skin. Maybe make a drinking game out of it because I don't know how many times I say these words in this tutorial. But anyways, if you guys want to see what products I used and how I got this look, then please keep watching. Okay you guys, so let's get started. I have a little bit of moisturizer on right now and lip chap. I'm gonna go in with primer. This is the Hello Fab Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer. This is one of my favorite moisturizing primers. It has coconut oil in it and it's a bit of a peach tint, so it does help brighten dull skin. Okay, so I am gonna go in with a pore filling primer as well. You do not have to do this. You can just stick to the primer that suits your skin the most. So whether that's an oil control primer, a moisturizing primer, a pore filling primer. Why am I so out of breath? I feel like I ran a marathon, but I just walked from my room to here. But anyways, I'm gonna use the Milk Makeup Blur Stick. This stuff is so cool. It almost feels like absolutely nothing on the skin, to the point where you feel like you have to keep applying it because it feels like nothing. So that's the blur stick on. I really like this stuff. It does such a good job at filling in your pores and just giving you a really smooth base. So today, since we are going for a more glowy, dewy, bronzy finish, I'm gonna mix in a liquid highlight with my foundation. You can find these pretty much in any brand now, a version of these. This is the Becca one in the color Opal, and I'm gonna mix it with one of the most luminous foundations that I own. That is the Armani Luminous Silk. So I'm gonna mix these two, one pump of each, and put it on my skin. So to ensure that I get the thinnest layer, what I do is I take the product on my finger and I spread it on my skin like this into a really thin layer. Also, I don't put the product on my dry areas, so I don't put it on my nose and on my upper lip. I put it everywhere else, and then the excess I will take onto the dry areas and then blend out with a beauty blender. Also, I'm putting on a really thin layer because I want my skin to be able to peek through. Just to give this a really natural skin-like finish. I'm in no way trying to make this a full coverage foundation routine. So that is one layer of the foundation on. You could see it looks really fresh and healthy and dewy. This is one of my favorite combinations to use when I'm going for a look like this. So next up, we're going to do a little bit of correcting. I'm going to use the Urban Decay Naked Skin Color Corrector in Peach. And I'm just going to put it where I have most of my darkness. So right in this crevice. Why did I just say that so sexually? That was weird, right? It was just creepy. But I'm going to blend it up with my beauty blender. Also, you guys, if you're trying to get a fuller coverage when using a beauty blender, just use a little bit of pressure when you're tapping, and that'll make sure that you retain the coverage that you want. If you're really pushing it into your skin, that's going to give you the thinnest layer. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with a little bit of concealer. I would normally use the Nars Radiant Creamy, but I'm all out. So I'm gonna go in with the Naked Skin Concealer by Urban Decay. And I'm just gonna do a bit of a triangle formation to highlight this area under my eyes and bring it forwards. And as always, I am going to blend it out with my beauty blender. So that's the concealer on, again, a very, very thin layer. I do want to highlight a little bit for this step. You can go in with that same concealer. Just make sure it's 1 to 2 shades lighter than your skin tone so you could really highlight with it. I'm going to use the MAC Prep and Prime highlighting pen today just because this doesn't really add additional coverage, and I feel like it reflects light a little bit better than a concealer would. And I'm just going to do so a triangle formation right here on my forehead. I'm going to go down the nose, a little bit on my chin, and then just a little bit on in this area right on my cheekbones to really bring them out. And again, highlight, blend with my Beauty Blender. Okay, so at this point is where we would set our base so that everything is locked in and stays all day. So for this routine though, I am only going to strategically set where I really need to and leave everything else powder free, so it just looks very glowy and fresh and it's not weighed down by powder. So I'm going to take my Rcma No Color Powder and just a small crease brush. This one is from Sephora. So I'm going to dip it in. I'm going to really tap off the excess. You do not want a lot. Take it and set just where you need to. So for me, that is a little bit under my eyes. I take the tiniest bit down my nose and around where I would get oily throughout the day. I take a little bit here on my smile lines, and then whatever is left on the brush, I go into my forehead. So this technique is going to make sure that my oils don't come out through the day, but everything else remains really fresh. And the way to lock everything in at the end, instead of using powder, is just use a setting spray, and that will make sure that your makeup lasts all day. So next we're going to do a little bit of bronzing. I'm going to go in with this Sigma dual fiber brush and my favorite bronzer of life. This is Nars Laguna. Can you tell? Like, it's so raunchy looking. Raunchy? That was harsh. Yeah, it's well loved. I love this bronzer. It has a bit of a shimmer to it. It just looks really healthy. So I'm going to dip in there. Now, since we did not set our face with powder, your bronzer may skip because it is only sticking on to a little bit of, it's sticking onto tacky foundation, so it may skip. So how to avoid that is to just stipple it in, like press it into your skin rather than rub it back and forth, and that's going to make sure your foundation doesn't skip. Actually going to change brushes and go into this MAC one, and I'm just going to apply it on the perimeters of my face. Okay, so I do want to contour just a little bit, so I'm going to go in with my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette and my MAC 188 dual fiber brush, and I dip into the first 2 shades, tap off the excess, and very lightly contour. Just hold the end of your brush so it's really flimsy, so you don't have too much control, and then that'll make sure that you get a really blended finish. So I go up and down and then upwards, so side to side and then upwards, and this will make sure you don't end up with a stark line, and it'll really blend it into your bronzer. I'm going to take a smaller brush and dip into just the first shade, the lightest one, and I'm going to go down my nose. So if you feel like your contour and bronzer got a little bit sloppy, here's a trick to kind of clean it up. Go into your translucent powder again with your beauty blender. Dip it in. I hate this stupid salt shaker packaging. Like, why? But anyways, just clean it up right underneath. Come off here. Right underneath your contour. Okay, so next I'm gonna go in with a little bit of why can't I talk? Blush. This is MAC's Warm Soul. This is the perfect blush for this type of bronzy look. I really, really love it. I'm gonna go in with my MAC blush brush, dip it in, and apply. So this part didn't get recorded, but I did go in with MAC's Gold Deposit and just a really big brush and kind of just applied it everywhere on the, I went in and applied like a C motion like this. I went across my nose, across my forehead, right here, just to give everything a really pretty bronzy finish. You could even just take this with your fingers and apply a little bit on your lids, just so everything looks really, really bronzy and pretty. Okay, so lastly, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of highlight. This is the Anastasia Glow Kit in That Glow. I'm gonna dip into these three shades right here. So this one, and this one. Knock off the excess and just apply this to the top of my cheekbones. I also like going right above my brows, just so everything looks really consistent. On the tip of the nose, right on the bridge, and a little bit on the chin. At the end, what I like to do is grab a brush and just blend everything together, just so it looks seamless, and then go in with the setting spray just so all the powders mesh into your skin. This is the Cover FX Illuminating Setting Spray. Okay, you guys, so I went ahead and applied a lipstick. This is a Too Faced Melted Matte Lipstick. I can list the color down below. But yeah, this is my foundation routine for very fresh, glowy, bronzy skin. How many times did I say these words in this tutorial? I don't know. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you'll like, subscribe, and come back for the next one. Bye, guys.